Ever tried explaining your job in quantum physics on a first date and watched your date's eyes glaze over like a fresh donut? Welcome to the club. Picture this. I'm at a trendy cafe, trying to impress with tales of particles and probabilities, and there she was, more interested in her latte art than in quantum entanglements. Just as I thought the date was a scientific snooze fest, she surprised me by joking about making our cats Schrodinger's next subjects, if only to see if they'd get along. This light-hearted moment, however, was a prelude to a more telling experience. As the evening unfolded, her constant phone-checking and disinterest in any topic not related to her signaled something was amiss. It wasn't just about mismatched interests, it was a glaring red flag waving right before my eyes. Recognizing these subtle cues early can save a lot of heartache and confusion in the dating world. So while that date didn't lead to romance, it certainly gave me an eye for spotting red flags early. Now, before we dive in, what exactly are red flags? In the realm of dating, red flags are behaviors or patterns that hint at potential problems in a relationship. They are the subtle and sometimes not so subtle warnings that something might not be quite right. Why is it crucial to spot them? Well, recognizing these signs early on can save you a lot of heartache and headache down the road. Think of red flags as the warning signs on a dodgy bridge. You really want to pay attention. Not all red flags come waving at you, some are as subtle as a secret wink. Imagine a romantic evening that's going perfectly until you notice your date consistently talking over you. Small, yes, but could it signify a lack of respect for your thoughts? Or consider the partner who always seems to have an excuse for not introducing you to their friends. It might just be shyness, or it could hint at a lack of commitment. Then there's the classic case of the boundary pusher. They might not make grand, disrespectful gestures, but they'll test your limits in tiny, almost imperceptible ways. Perhaps they dismiss your choice of restaurant under the guise of a joke, or casually forget plans you've made together. And let's not forget those with stories more tangled than last year's Christmas lights. Inconsistencies in what they tell you about their past might be humorous at first, but could actually point to deeper deceptions. It's the little things that tell the big stories. Now, let's decode the cryptic language of dating red flags. Picture this. You're on a date and the conversation flows, but there's an undercurrent you can't quite put your finger on. It's not just the big gestures, but the small, subtle signs that often whisper the loudest warnings. Take over jealousy, for instance. It's not about them throwing a fit when you chat with someone else. No, it's more cunning. It's those little comments about how much time you spend with your friends, or the sly digs at how well you get along with your coworker. It's jealousy wearing the mask of concern. Then there's passive aggressiveness, the art of cloaked hostility. Imagine they say, "Fine, go out without me," but their tone is loaded with enough guilt to anchor a ship. It's not the words, it's the silent message behind them. And how about conflict handling? If every disagreement is either a catastrophe or brushed under the rug, beware. Healthy conflict resolution involves calm discussion, not emotional extremes. Remember, it's not just what they say, it's how they say it. Scene script. Imagine you're at dinner and your date criticizes the waiter for no reason. Now let's dive into a few more scenarios that might just make your dating radar beep a warning. Picture this. You're sharing stories about your childhood, and every time you speak, your date interrupts to one-up you with a better story. It's not just annoying, it's a red flag waving at you about their need for constant attention and lack of respect for your experiences. Or consider the time you planned a lovely evening watching movies. Halfway through, your date is on their phone, endlessly scrolling. They chuckle at memes while you're engrossed in the emotional climax of the film. This disengagement isn't just rude, it subtly tells you where their priorities lie, or don't. And it's not all about what they do. Listen to what they say. Imagine your date consistently makes plans and cancels last minute with excuses that sound as hollow as a drum. This pattern isn't just flaky, it's a parade of red flags, signaling unreliability and a lack of respect for your time. Lastly, imagine you share a personal achievement, hoping for a smile or a congratulatory hug. Instead, your date shifts the topic to their long list of superior accomplishments. This isn't just competitive, it's a sign of insecurity and an inability to support others' successes. It's not just a bad day, it's a glimpse into real attitudes. Enjoying the insights? Don't sail away just yet. If you fancy more enlightening tales from the dating deep, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stick around, there's more wisdom to come. So you've spotted a red flag. What next? Navigating the murky waters of dating red flags isn't just about recognizing them, it's about addressing them wisely. First things first, communication is key. If something feels off, don't just shove it under the rug. Bring it up casually. For example, if your date constantly talks over you, try saying, "I've noticed you're quite the storyteller, but I'd love to finish my tales as well." Setting boundaries early on is crucial. It's like setting the rules of a game before you start playing. If your date is overly possessive, calmly express that you value independence and see how they respond. It's a great way to test the waters and see if they're willing to meet you halfway. Remember, it's not about confrontation, but about mutual understanding and respect. Think of it as steering your ship through the Red Seas. You need to be clear about your course and ready to negotiate the waves, not just brace for impact. Navigating these waters requires a good compass and a sturdy ship. It's easy to miss the forest for the trees, or in this case, the red flags for the roses. Now let's dive into a few common pitfalls many fall into when spotting red flags in the dating scene. First off, there's the classic oversight, ignoring the warning signs. Imagine someone who texts their ex 20 times a day but insists it's just being friendly. If it quacks like a duck and it texts like a duck, well, you know the rest. Then there's the confusion between quirks and genuine red flags. Picture this, he collects antique dolls. Quirky? Definitely. A red flag? Not necessarily, but if he insists on setting a place for his favorite doll at dinner, that might just be crossing a line from quirky to concerning. It's crucial to remember that red flags aren't just bad habits. They are indicators of deeper issues that could affect your relationship long term. So, while it's important to appreciate someone's unique traits, it's equally vital to recognize when these traits might spell trouble. It's about finding the balance between caution and paranoia. Let's tie all these threads together, shall we? Throughout our journey today, we've uncovered the real red flags in dating that often go unnoticed. Remember, it's not just about the glaring warnings like dishonesty or disrespect. It's the subtle cues, the quiet alarms that whisper rather than shout. We started by defining what red flags are, those warning signs that something might not be right in the land of love. We ventured further, listing qualities such as lack of empathy, inconsistency in behavior, and an unwillingness to communicate openly. These aren't just quirks, they are signals worth your attention. We then delved into the hidden signs. How about the partner who never apologizes, or the one who's always on their phone during your time together? These moments, though small, paint a larger picture of what's potentially brewing beneath the surface. And so, armed with knowledge, you're ready to steer clear of the dating minefields? Now that you're a red flag expert, what's your take? Have you ever spotted a subtle sign on a date that made you think twice? Maybe it was a casual comment that revealed a lot more about their character than they intended. We've all been there, and your experiences are invaluable. Drop a comment below with your tales and insights. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more enlightening discussions. Share your stories, join the community, and let's navigate the dating world together. Savored this video, fancy another? Click the on-screen video for an even deeper dive into fresh territory. Your support is like a warm cuppa on a brisk day. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell for the latest content. Cheers for watching.